It's hard not to struggle with your eating habits if you live in a modern day country, especially the West and the Americas or Europe, because we have so much abundant, addictive processed food. But especially, it's hard not to struggle with our eating when we have a lot on our plate. If we're a dad, if we have a lot of responsibilities. And when I became a dad, I struggled. I thought I had overcome my poor eating habits, but I fell back into them for different reasons. And I struggled so long. I wanted to have my energy back. I wanted to stay lean and healthy. I wanted to have energy to spend time with my kids and just have confidence in myself. I struggled night after night to stick to my plan. And so in this video, I want to share how I was thinking about this wrong at first, why it took me so long to make the sustainable and consistent changes. And I want to share how I actually made those changes, what things really helped me and helped me each day to stick to my diet. And so starting with how I was used to think about this, I used to think I just need to be more disciplined. I need to have more willpower. Like, I'm a dad, I have these responsibilities. I'm a grown up. Like, I need to be able to control myself, stick to eating one piece of bread, one brownie, whatever it is, whatever I tell myself, right? Like, we make these promises to ourselves, and then 10 seconds later, we're breaking them, eating more than we know we should. We know it's going to cause problems. And I was just ashamed of myself. I knew I could do it. There had been nights where I was able to resist, stick to my diet, maybe even a long period of time. And so I thought, I just need to be better, right? I just need to stick to my plan each night. Like, it's that simple, right? But over time, and what you've probably experienced is, we're not able to do that consistently. For whatever reason, we don't have the willpower to do that night after night. And so why is this? Well, there's actually, if we kind of zoom out and think about our day, we can see maybe some patterns. So maybe we have a job, we're providing for our family. Maybe it's a hard job. We have some stress during the day. We come home. Maybe we get into an argument with our wife. Hopefully not, but it happens, right? That adds some more stress. We're exhausted. Maybe we're wrestling the kids, trying to get them to bed. We need relief at night. We're surrounded by addictive food with easy access. Maybe it's just a habit. We want some dopamine to just get some relief in the moment. And so we turn to what's easiest, and often that's food. We open the pantry. Maybe the wife made some baked good, baked treat, and we tell ourselves we're going to eat, one or two, and we end up 30 minutes later eating a lot more than we want. It makes the next day worse, and the cycle just repeats. And so hopefully that kind of brief picture gives you an idea. There's a lot of things going on here. It's not just one thing contributing to us eating too much. So it makes sense that we would be overeating with all of these different factors, these stressors, habits, the need for dopamine and relief. Why wouldn't we turn to food? And so what I realized is, instead of focusing on me just being better, me sticking to my diet, despite all of these different things, these different factors, I decided I needed to focus on these factors, on these things causing me to overeat, these things that changed when I started having kids. What changed, right? If I had control over this before, why is it hard now? And so that question helped me to start to understand what I needed to actually address to be consistent. If I can figure out what are the underlying causes of me eating so many sweets and I can actually address those, then I'll be able to stay consistent. And so I want to share 3 questions that you can ask yourself to start to figure out the actual root cause of your overeating. While many videos, many people online will tell you, okay, this is what you need to do. Maybe it works for some people. Everybody's different, right? There's going to be different reasons for each person why they struggle. And so I want to give some guiding questions and principles that should be able to apply to most people. And so the first one, and the most important one, in my opinion, is what thoughts and feelings am I having before I end up overeating, not sticking to my diet? This is the most important because it's going to directly get to that root cause, the big reason that you're overeating. And so, one common one is stress. It might be a way that you're coping with stress, that you're escaping. And so as you pay attention to what's going on in your mind and your body before you're overeating, that's going to help you understand, okay, is it stress? Is it just habit? Is it a need to just relax? Or is it a feeling of just control? Is it just wanting to escape? Paying attention to that will help you to understand how to replace that habit with something else that's more healthy. So taking the stress example, if you learn that it's stress that's causing you to overeat, then you can begin to experiment with other things that will help you to deal with stress that aren't going to cause the same problems that overeating is. Okay, so that's the most important question. And it may take some time to figure that out for you. The second question has to do with our environment, because sometimes it's not something going on inside us. Sometimes it's a trigger on the outside. What triggers, what events are happening that could be leading me to overeat? So this could be things in your environment. This could be just food on the counter that when you see it, it's hard not to eat. This could be people in your home. When you see them eating, maybe it's hard for you not to join them or have a bite. Maybe it's an argument. Maybe you realize after you have a contentious argument with your partner that that's what triggers you to overeat. So once you, again, identify kind of what's going on in your environment, you can figure out how to change that, how to optimize your environment to avoid overeating. The third question I want to share is, what support do I have? Because even when you figured out the root cause, what's mainly causing you to overeat, even when you've got rid of these triggers to the best of your ability, it's still going to be hard for a little bit as our dopamine is sort of resetting. If you want to understand dopamine, you can watch my last video. But it's still going to be difficult as we're getting used to maybe sticking to a healthier diet. We may still be tempted to even drive somewhere or order food that we know we shouldn't. And so it's important that we have a support system in place. So there's a few different parts to this. I think number one is your immediate support system, people that you live with, if you live with other people. So ideally, your partner especially is on the same page with you and that they're supporting you in this. They know what your goals are. They know what diet you have, how you want to stick to it. Even if they're not in a sort of keeping you accountable, they're still gonna help you to stick to it because they know what you want to do. And so if you are not sticking to that, it's gonna cause some guilt in you, and that's good. That's healthy guilt. If it's helping you to stop and prevent you from overeating. The next part of the support is accountability. This is massive. If you have someone who's keeping you accountable, your chances of actually sticking to any goal go up dramatically. This could be your partner, but usually that doesn't work out the best. It can be a friend, it can be anybody. It could be someone you meet online who has a similar goal, changing their eating habits, but someone who's really going to check in with you and help you to really stay accountable. Stick with your diet, ideally every single day. And so these are 3 questions that if you ask these, if you really think about these, start to pay attention, you're going to figure out what's really going on. And that clarity is going to allow you to actually be consistent. It's what helped me to finally change my habits and stick to a good routine, allowed me to get my energy back. And so now if you're wanting help kind of getting clarity or even someone to keep you accountable, then click the link in the description and we can set up a time to chat. Otherwise, if you're interested in hearing me talk about these ideas more in depth, then please subscribe and I will see you in the next video.